Hey guys, this is the first video in a new series where I actually give you helpful information. So I noticed this myself. I just drew Bozel and I was looking up guides on how to build him, and while Nitro's guide is fantastic and I highly recommend you watch it for more detailed analysis, it is a little bit dated because it was made in Season 1. So I'm just going to do a quick rundown of Bozel, give you a little bit of updated information and how you should be building him now in Season 4. So with Bozel, his talent replaces his int with magic defense. Now, obviously, these red ratios, those are what change as you increase in star level. So Bozel's job is to have really high magic defense, convert that into damage, and then use that damage to allow him to debuff the enemy. And combine that with his AoE skills like Earthquake and Black Hole, which already apply debuffs. So he's a debuffing AoE monster. So the ideal setup would actually be, when you only have 5 skills, I would go Earthquake, Seal, and Black Hole. I haven't unlocked Black Hole yet, so that's why I still have the faction buff. If you're going, when you get to having 6 skills, that's when you're going to want to put faction buff, Earthquake, and Black Hole all together. Let's cover his classes real quick. So one thing you'll notice in Season 1, Summoning was huge. Summoning got nerfed really hard and no longer is a key mechanic. It can be used in PvP with teams that run around Yusuke. So you summon the undead and then you sacrifice him into the flames. That gives Yusuke his power up, and then he can one-shot the tank. But that's a little gimmicky and hard to set up. And it's fallen off pretty heavily, especially since Yusuke is no longer highly meta in PvP. So that's just something to consider. I would not waste the Runestone, especially because even the class mastery on it, all you get is 80 HP and 5 defense. Yeah, sure, the 80 HP is nice, but the 5 defense doesn't really do anything for you because you want magic defense. So I originally went into Dark Mage, Dark Prince, and then I'm finishing with Reaper and Death Lord. Death Lord will give me Black Hole, the Seal, and then you get Earthquake from the Dark Prince. Now, there's a little bit of argument here. So Death Lord has the higher endgame stats, but Dark Prince doesn't have a weakness because Death Lord is Demon. So he is weaker to Holy and does less damage to Holy, whereas Dark Prince, he does damage equally across the board and doesn't take extra damage. I'm going to fiddle around and see how he performs as a demon. Since I mostly do PvE, the only Holy units I really run into are healers, so I'm not really overly concerned with that. Because being PvE based, that's how I'm going to do it. And then I may switch him over, though, for help with the Ice Dragon. So it's something I have to consider down the line, but the better stats are in the Demon class. Alright, so now I've covered abilities, I've covered classes. Let's cover soldiers. So originally, Crystal Warlocks were not released when other guides came out for Bozel, but Crystal Warlocks are his best soldiers. I'm not going to go too heavily into the details, just they're his best. So unlock them, level them up, move forward with your life. Alright, last I'm going to cover equipment. So, best in slot equipment for Bozel. I don't have the Miracle Staff. The Miracle Staff is the SSR item, rather. And that should be what he has here. Unfortunately, I don't have that, so the next best option is the Galaxy Staff because it boosts your AoE. After that, Galaxy Cloak because it boosts your magic defense and your HP. Both useful things to have. The HP so he doesn't get hit as hard. The magic defense because not only does it protect him from other mages and other AoEs, but it also scales directly into his int because of his talent. Same rationale behind Dark Crown. Gives you magic defense and HP. Exactly what you want. And then actually, his best accessory, there are 2 arguments here. One, speed boots, because you get that extra mobility, and he's got really short legs, so you want him to get in range to use his AoE blasts. Or some people like the Swordsmith's Medal because of the overall buffs and the immunity to fixed damage. I prefer getting into range, especially because you don't run into too much fixed damage in PvE. but for PvP, that is a possible consideration. Now, enchantments, these should be clock. The rationale's easy, right? So it gives increased int, which isn't really the biggest deal, but it's the 4-piece active, right? So when you're dealing skill damage, the 30% chance to decrease your cooldown by 5. So if we flip back over to his abilities, Earthquake has a cooldown of 5 rounds. Same with Black Hole. So if you have both of those abilities equipped and you proc a clock, then you're going to be able to use that ability again and cycle those spells more frequently. So you could use magic because it boosts AoE, but you're only going to get 2 spells off, and it's going to take forever for your spells to come off cooldown. The cooldown is worth way more than the little bit of extra AoE damage. And last but not least, I don't have the masteries unlocked yet, so I can't really show you what that looks like, but it's pretty straightforward. You want to go magic defense. Same thing with those enchantments, I forgot to mention that. What you want to shoot for with your enchants is magic defense. Now, this isn't ideal, obviously. I need to build these, but you want to focus magic defense. So ideally you want flat magic defense, percentage magic defense, and then health or int. Either or would be good. This 8% magic defense is pretty solid, but what I would like is 8% magic defense, flat magic defense, or swap out this 2% attack for flat magic defense, and that's a pretty good enchantment. So same deal all the way down. You want flat, you want percentage, you want scaling, you want to be able to do damage, you want it to convert over to int, and go from there. So yeah, that's basically Bozel in a nutshell. So AoE spells, unlock his 6 so you can carry his faction buff so that he can do even more damage with AoE spells, stack magic defense on him, and let him go nuts. Last thing I will cover though is his bonds. So if you haven't seen his bonds yet, here we go. So what he needs, this was level 5. This you clear 3/6 in the time rift. This one is upgrade him to the demon class. This one is the uncontainable dragon. You have to clear that with Egbert. And then the last one is complete Dark Twins with Farraquea. So now I just need to level up. The last one isn't as important because he is a conversion champ, but it is good to have. And then obviously you want to unlock heart bonds and go from there. So really the only thing you need to level him up is Farraquea Bozel. Most everyone should have those. You get them pretty easily. So this is just an updated guide. Super quick, not anything overly in depth. If you do want more details on percentages, conversions, and how to play, do check out Nitro's guide. I highly recommend it. But I just wanted to update some of that information a little bit. Alright, thanks for watching. Remember to like and sub and comment below which champ you want me to update next. And I will see you next time.